Hi, this is Tom from the band Living Monstrosity, and a little while ago I made a video about our new single Falling Flowers and the artwork and photography used in the release and the promotional material for that, which is photography that I took myself whilst travelling in Korea last year in September and October. And I mentioned that a lot of the artwork for Living Monstrosity's albums and stuff is photography done by myself, just because it's another hobby that I have, and it's something that I have easy access to use for album covers, artwork. In the case of Falling Flowers and Otherwise Fertile Forest, those releases, the artwork, not Heartwork, that's a Carcass album, relates very heavily to the album title or the subject matter. And I just wanted to share some of the other photography that I'd done whilst I was travelling last year for a few reasons. I don't really have another venue to share it, so I just wanted to make sure it's out there in some form, that it's something else artistically that's important to me alongside the band. The other reason is that I'm now a year removed from some of these experiences that I'm going to be talking about in the photography that I did during some of the travelling that I was able to do last year, and I am very much not in the position to do that this year, and I am stuck in the UK back at work, and my life revolves around commuting to and from a shit job, and the weather's horrible. It feels like winter. It feels like forever since I've seen the sun. So talking about experiences where I did see the sun and saw something other than, piles of dog shit on the street and traffic and grey skies and all the wonderful things about England, because I can't live those experiences at the moment, I want to talk about them and reminisce and share some of the photographs mainly alongside the music as an artistic outlet, just to prove years from now that maybe I was good at something, even if only on an amateur level. So what I'm going to share and talk about today is visiting France as part of a little trip I took around Europe in July 2023, and share some of the images that I took that I'm quite proud of, or I think have some artistic merit, and talk a little bit about the trip. So there's a lot of very nice architecture in Marseille, some old churches and cathedrals, very nice to visit, an old fortress that's really cool right on the coast. More importantly, there's a giant orange bear near Costco. Not Costco, the shop, Costco. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of that, but it's French, so I don't care. There's a giant orange bear, which is near a church, a pirate ship, and a museum. All three things very interesting, but nowhere near as interesting as this giant orange bear. So I took a lot of photos of the bear. Somewhere that I went that I wasn't allowed to take photographs, but is relevant because it's interesting and is quite near the bear, is Costco Cave, which tens of thousands of years ago was above sea level before the Mediterranean filled up, and it was inhabited by humans that have left cave art behind, traces of fires. It is now underwater after the ice caps melted and the Mediterranean filled up. So it's gone from being a cave that you used to have to climb up to get to, and nowadays you have to take an elevator underwater to visit. So that was very interesting to explore. There is a museum atop the cave, which has recreations of animals and boats and humans, which I did snap a few pictures of. I took a boat trip around the coast from Marseille. It sort of goes an hour up the coast and then back again, and it gives you a view of Calanque National Park, which is a big mountainous area right on the coast, huge cliffs going into the ocean, and that's where I took a lot of the pictures that I'm reticent to say I'm proud of, but I like them. I like nature and wilderness and scenery, and I like photographs of it, so it was a very beautiful area to photograph. I cut my leg open on the boat because I tried to stand up, and then it bounced over a wave and I fell over and scraped my leg against the metal chair, so I was bleeding for the majority of the trip, but it was still fun either way. Tons of little islands and rocky outcrops and cliffs, beaches, clear blue sky, clear blue ocean, wisps of cloud. The colour of the rocks and some of the formations reminded me of the base in Power Rangers, where Zordon lives, out in the mountains. I kept expecting to see Zords, but unfortunately there weren't any. So during this trip, I worked on the Riff Every Day project, which I didn't take as far as I intended it to when I got to Korea. But whilst I was in Europe, I took my guitar with me and my Focusrite and my laptop, and tried to write at least one guitar riff every day, hopefully to wind up with some songs further down the line. So the day that I took this boat trip, I wound up writing the demo that would eventually become Falling Flowers. So there's some video footage of the boat trip around Calanque National Park. If you look at the Riff Every Day in Marseilles episode 2 video. And I'd been listening to, I think because I was in France, I just decided I was going to listen to Alceste. It was either that or Gojira, and I just felt like listening to Alceste. I had my guitar tuned half a step down, the same tuning that Alceste used. I think I got back to the hotel, and I tried to learn some Alceste riffs, and then just wound up settling on some chords, and trying to write something similar, something in that vibe. And then it turned into Falling Flowers, eventually like nearly a year later. So at least I did get something musical out of the trip in the end. So I hope you've enjoyed some of the photographs that I've shared. I enjoyed taking them, and I enjoy looking back at them, and I enjoy interacting with the environment when I'm traveling through photography, and making sure that I have stuff to remember 10, 20 years from now when my memory is probably melted. At least I've documented it and I can look back on it. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and have a good one.